Welcome, guys, gals, and non-binary pals, to another episode of Montreal by Night. I am your storyteller, Tyson Fraleigh, and I am very happy to welcome our dear cast today. First up, we have our dear boy, Brenten Edwards.
Hello, guys, gals, binary pals. Great to be back, and once again, loving the fact that I'm in top billing. Fantastic.
Next up, we have Takeshi Fukushima.
Hello, everyone. I don't have a funny intro this week. I'm very sorry. I'm very tired.
We have a special guest in here today as well, to take up our dear boy Ethan Jonah's spot, who is still on vacation, and we are wishing him all the best. But we do have our dear friend and national podcast composer nominee. Is that the best way to put it? Alexander Cruz.
That is correct. Bonjour, salut tout le monde. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, that's right. That one guy who commented on our show about having not enough Québécois. We've got full Québécois for you this time.
T'es même pas prêt, mon gars. You're not even ready. But seriously, thank you so much for having me on the show. It's a great time. I can't wait to partake in some delicious vampireness.
Well, I just wanted to say, as some of you might know, Alexander Cruz, well, I mean, we know him for a lot of reasons. We know him because we're actually friends with the man. We also know him because he is a starring cast member and composer for another little show that has been mentioned on this particular podcast a couple of times, October Jones and Fish with Legs.
Yeah, I did not just wander onto set and coerce these folks into giving me a mic. If you have listened to October Fish, I wasn't sure if you had mentioned it on the show before, but I've played Manfred Spliner the Mighty, and all that music that you probably have heard on it, maybe in the background, I made that. I guess I don't have to plug October and Fish at the end of the episode anymore.
Takeshi does it every session.
Ah, yes! My boy!
Yeah, we're going to slowly have pretty much everyone from October and Fish take over for the Rook and the Rascal. It's just going to be some strange chimera and just mixing.
I'm looking forward to it. You know, we're the next Geek and Sundry is all it is. I'm setting our hopes high. I'm aiming for the stars. Yeah.
Alrighty, well, with the shenanigans out of the way, let's get into a little bit of a recap. Last time on Montreal by Night, our fantastic duo temporarily had come face to face with Monsieur Bouchard, the seemingly leader, coaxing head of whatever sort of insurrection is going on in Montreal. After having a very tense discussion with him, you discovered that his plan is to eventually transform all of humanity into kindred as a way of promoting a form of strange self-love for kindred kind, trying to reject the power dominions of the Anarchs and the Camarilla, creating a one holy worship of Cain, the first vampire. After some back and forth with Talisen and some deep considerations of where his loyalty lies, Talisen faked out Monsieur Bouchard before attempting to bite and drain him, before Nakano was swiftly shot and knocked into torpor, before Talisen was able to grab him and burst through the window out into the street and running somewhere to be able to get a quick bite to awaken him. And that is where we left off. As Talisen, you land in the street and begin running the moment that your feet touches the concrete. What direction are you heading?
Can I hear any sounds of people, frivolity, noise, life, anything?
You hear two directions. If you go south, you'll hit Old Port. If you go west, you'll hit Saint Laurent.
What's closer?
It's about equal distance.
Saint Laurent.
Saint Laurent. You run as fast as you can with your fleetness. As you arrive at Rue Saint Laurent, heading up the hill and heading into the major bars and restaurants, there are floods of people here. The street is yours.
First person, like I'm not even really being subtle. I'm like, first secluded alley I see. I'm going to duck in there, drop Nakano, like, duck out, grab someone, duck back in, and I'm moving it, like, I'll roll rouse checks for blink, if possible, or if you need me to, I'm moving as fast as humanly possible.
So are you literally just snagging someone and ripping them in with you?
Yeah, I'm not, this is, because he's my mate, and because that's still something very sacred to me, I'm sort of ignoring the things that I would usually do for a nice meal. This is for the sake of Nakano's survival. And so I'm just grabbing and getting it back to him.
Please make a strength athletics check.
Why would you bring that dirty S word into things, Tyson? Okay, that worked. Four successes.
Very easily, without even looking, you just reach out, grab someone, and yank them into the alley as they are temporarily have the air knocked out of their lungs. Hit the ground as you were standing over top of them.
I'm just knock them out. They're boom, gone. It'd be faster for the neck than a wrist vein, right?
As far as what, to drink?
I'm trying to get as much blood into Nakano as humanly possible.
So right now, Nakano is not able to drink because he is considered unconscious. I will say, if you just try to, like, rip a vein, it is going to cause some damage, some pretty bad damage. Another option you have is for this person, you can also feed him your Vitae, and then you drink from this person.
Yes, but that would put him under my control, right?
To do a blood bond, it has to be an intentional, like, there's a full ritual around it. Like, vampires can feed each other Vitae. Essentially, you give them a swig of your Vitae, their hunger goes down by 1, your hunger goes up by 1. So it's a transactional basis. That's why, when Asher was frenzying, when you gave him your Vitae, he wasn't blood bonded to you.
That's right. Yep. Okay. Gotcha. All right. Sorry. Had a bit of a moment there. In that case, yeah, I'm just going to get my sword out from my guitar slung on my back, wrist, and just stick it to Nakano's mouth. And so I'll be forcing and doing it really quickly as well. It's going to be like, like you're squeezing a jet of Vitae down his throat, basically. So just and force the Vitae down his throat as I'm drinking from this person. And I'll drain the person so that they're almost gone, but I'm still leaving them alive. They're just weak.
Yeah, that works perfectly, because you're just at 1 hunger, correct?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so in which case you're able to get Nakano down to 1 hunger. He, as in his Toper form, he is at 5 hunger. So you have to reduce yourself down to 0 while at the same time drinking from this person, getting yourself back to 1. Because you're transferring your lifeblood kind of in exchange, the person that you're draining doesn't die because they're only filling you up. So it's all good. So which point, as you're kind of draining the last of the Vitae into Nakano's mouth, Nakano, you feel your eyes begin to open slowly as the light from the street is a little bit startling at first before everything is a little bit murky. There's almost like a vision of red in your eye for a moment before you feel yourself come back to attention as Talisen is standing over top of you, hand bleeding, and a figure aside from him just sitting down on the ground, currently knocked out.
I think I'm still a little terrified from the previous battle, and so I am just straight up to my feet, back against one wall, just taking in the whole scene around me, panicked.
Okay. And what is it? Also from just a mechanical standpoint, you are currently at 1 health. And when you do that, please make a wits awareness check as you're looking around panicked.
That's 3 successes.
In your panic as you're looking, you see Talisen in front of you, you see the unconscious person just behind him, and you see some movement off to your left down the alleyway.
I'm gonna, like, pitch around looking at the movement, and I'm gonna, like, reach for my various pockets looking for a weapon, which I will not find because I am currently unarmed.
You reach around for weapons, don't find anything, as you see the movement begin to get closer. Two small shadows heading down the alley.
Am I able to sense the beast?
Yes, you can if you'd like. Please make a resolve animalism check.
Would I hear anything as well? Or am I too distracted in reviving Nakano and eating this poor person?
I'll say with Nakano looking and heading for weapons, you turn as well and do see these two shadows heading down towards you. I also require Alex to please make a composure subterfuge check.
So that'll be 2 successes for me.
Just 1 for me.
Nakano, you sense the beast. As it ripples outwards, the two forms are smaller than you're expecting. They're walking in tandem, but they're about waist height long, like dogs? As you sense one of them has the beast, but it isn't the beast you're used to. As opposed to the hunger, there's a deep seething rage at the heart of this creature.
I see.
Seeing this person and seeing Nakano sort of scrabble around and get freaked out, do I... I've got my unseen... What is it? Heightened senses. Do I hear like a heartbeat?
Well, you turn down towards, and with your heightened senses, you can see one familiar form to you. As you see a 3-legged wolf walking down, reddish hair kind of spackled across the body, some slight dim gray hairs kind of walking across, heading up, as you see another dog wolf form that looks entirely different than the other two you have encountered. For Alex, what does Verity's lupus form look like?
So definitely like a tawny brown, a little bit of red spotted, very shaggy, I'd say. Does not look to be kept properly, and these almost like gold piercing eyes, and very hot breath coming from her snout.
So Talisen will smile, seeing our 3-legged companion. Ah, here he is. Pleasure to see you again, Tortez.
As from the 3-legged form, you see the hulking, red-headed, slightly graying, bearded figure of Richie fully go back into his human form as he looks to the two of you. Good to see you both.
After the night we've had, you have no idea how welcome a sight you are, my friend.
Once I see Richie come out of his form, I will also...
So for everyone listening at home, for our dear character Verity, the rules are going to get a little bit interesting here, because we clash together 5th edition vampire and 20th edition werewolf, because there is no werewolf rules for the vampire universe aside from just a monster sheet. So we made a little bit of a homebrew for Guru in the world. So as you come out of your lupus form, please describe what Verity looks like, or what appears to be for the party.
So you see a woman, I don't know, average, taller than average woman height, about like 5'8", kind of broad-shouldered, kind of built like a swimmer, with this glossy, kind of brownish, unkempt, curly hair. Those same kind of light brown, almost golden eyes. Very one distinctive feature you notice is this giant ink blot-like birthmark on her right eye. Otherwise, fairly inconspicuous looking.
At which point Richie just kind of looks to Nakano and Talisen before motioning back. I just want to introduce you all guys together. Verity. This is our liaisons, you could call them. Talisen and Nakano. Don't mind the smell.
Trying not to.
Oh, Talisen Nakano, Verity. She's a friend of ours.
Taliesin will shuffle the body off that he's feeding from and wipe out a handkerchief, sort of, wipe off his wrist. And then, Tyson Sforza. A pleasure. Short bow, and then while his head is still lowered, he'll extend his hand in what is obviously a very fancy / flirtatious handshake.
Already takes it. You can dispense with the formalities, it's okay there. Tack, don't start with me right now.
You have thus far done the best French-Canadian accent this show has seen.
As Taliesin takes her hand, you just see Richie just kind of leans over. Yeah, I'm sorry. He's the really flamboyant one.
Guilty as charged. And I'll sort of shake it, kiss her hand, and then stand up.
It looks like your friend is a little bit hurt. Would you like me to take a look?
Yes, I would. Your assistance would be much appreciated.
I understand your ways are a little different, but nothing like a good old-fashioned poultice or something. And I'd like to just slowly go over to Nakano and go down like a frightened like a wounded animal, with the same calming kind of vibe.
As you're approaching Nakano, as you're kind of walking, you do hear. You're not exactly sure from what direction, but you do hear from what sounds like behind and above you, as you just hear, "Oof, these ones always smell like shit." As you hear your grandma Huguette. Huguette.
This is very interesting to me. How do I talk to her? Is it like a mental thing, or do I have to say things out loud?
It changes. It's not a structured thing. Sometimes it comes through visions. Sometimes it just comes through messages. Sometimes it's internal. Sometimes it's external. It's like a very fluid thing.
Oh, then okay, I'll make that choice then. Out loud, I'm just gonna go. Je le sais, grand-maman. Calme-toi. Sont des amis?
Excuse me, mademoiselle. There don't appear to be any grandmothers here. Unless there's Richie. Unless there is something you are telling us.
Oh, pardon-moi. No, you have to understand. I have a very special connection to my family. They're kind of around.
Of course.
Please, don't mind me. It will just happen.
Fair enough.
Anyway, where's Asher?
In our search for answers as to what has been going on, we were at Therapy Caron, and as it turns out, a man referred to as the conductor. Grazie. A man referred to as the conductor, who has been behind all of the goings-on in Montreal, is located there. However, we were surrounded, ambushed by Ambrosia and Esther, the barons of the opposing factions. And to head them off, Asher decided to run, essentially. I tried to stop him and engage, but and I'll turn to Nakano and give him the filthiest look you've ever seen. I was waylaid.
Did you see where he went off to?
Well, I know he ran, I know they pursued, I do not know where. Nakano, where did he run off to? In which direction?
Tyson, did I see what direction they ran off to? I feel like Asher only started moving after we entered the building.
That sounds about right, so I'd say probably not. You were focused on other things.
I'm afraid I don't know. They only started moving once we entered the building.
Well then, But wait, you guys saw him run off, right?
We heard him. We heard the commotion he was producing.
We know he's alive. This collector that we were speaking with.
Conductor?
Conductor, that's right. Sorry. This conductor that we were speaking with seems to be in good enough stead with Esther and the Gangrel to be able to call them off the chase. So I would like to hope that he is alive. Where, I do not know.
I don't suppose either of you have noted any bands of Nosferatu in the city on your way here.
I'm pretty sure we would have smelled him before we saw him.
Yes, I have never heard this one before.
Yes, right. We smell like the dead. Fair enough.
But it is tracking that you want. Maybe we can be of assistance.
That was my thought. If you can take us to where Asher started running, we might be able to track him back to wherever. If they picked him up, if he's hiding somewhere. Anything like that.
Of course. Well, firstly, one moment. And I'll turn around to Nakano and I'll sort of help him up and be like, are you alright?
As you are going to lift him up, while kind of the back and forth between Richie and Talisen is happening a little bit, for Verité, what you're looking over Nakano, what are you trying to deduce?
Yeah, I wanted to just look over. I was trying to see how, if he was physically, I've seen vamps before, but like if he was physically hurt, any broken bones, anything like that, and if that needed tending to.
I'll say make a quick intelligence medicine check.
That's 2 successes.
2 successes. Even for a vamp, he's in a bad way. It seems that he took what looks like a shotgun blast to the chest. His clothes have been slightly burned and cindered. The wounds, they definitely look bad. You don't think that he's going to stand much of a chance if he continues to go like full power right now, like this.
As I'm like kneeling down and I'll like kind of like, looks like you had a bit of a night, huh, mon ami?
You could say that. And Nakano sort of leans away from Verity in the way that a person who does not like dogs might lean away from a dog, from a particularly large dog.
You smell like ash. Do you permit me to touch you?
Alright, but make it quick.
And I'll kind of lay my hands on Nakano's chest and use my mother's touch to heal him.
Okay. You spend 1 point of Gnosis on your sheet, and then please make a Charisma medicine check.
Ooh, baby. That's 3 successes, one of them's a crit.
Nakano, you heal 3 points of aggravated damage. As you feel Verity's hands go across your chest, as you see some of the undead levels of your skin begin to almost look like they're scarring over, almost as if the flesh were healing itself again. Beyond your undead level of repair, it almost looks like you're getting brand new skin.
Okay. I'm looking at this with bit of awe, bit of horror.
Do not worry, this everybody's first time is like this.
Very well done. And I'll incline my head. And I'll just sort of, one moment please, and I'll just sort of put my hand on her shoulder, sort of to kindly ask her to step back.
Yep, at which point you lift up Nakano.
I'll then turn to face Nakano and sock him in the face.
Oh!
Nakano, do you take it or do you dodge?
Yeah, I take it.
What the hell are you doing? Why? You stabbed me in the back!
Can we not discuss this in front of our allies?
We are not finished here. There is a discussion that needs to be had.
I agree. I am going to seize Talisen by the front of his shirt and I would like to try and physically drag him out of the alleyway.
I will resist.
Make competing strength athletics checks.
Cool, that'll go great for me. That'll be 4 successes for me.
Yeah, no, you got me. I had 3.
Okay. Nakano seizes Talisen by the front, fighting each other, heading out of the alley. Well, Verity, you're watching this, and it's like a little bit stereotypical of like 2 lanky dudes in like a high school hallway, like fighting each other. where you and Richie are just kind of standing there, you kind of just look at each other, and like both of you comparatively are ripped, like compared to these two who are just lanky and trying to like stop each other from dragging the one out the other. And Richie just kind of stands there. Yeah, this is the first time I'm seeing him act like this, but I mean,
Okay. Hey, you know them better than I do, so clearly they've got some unresolved issues to work out. They would really, give me 30 minutes with them. We'd be fantastic. We'd be done.
Look, I trust you. This is just outside of my league. I'm good with the fight. I'm not good with like stopping people from fighting more often than not.
Long as they don't blow our cover, I think, hey, let them talk it out with their fists or whatever.
We just got away from a psychologist.
I'll look over and say, no, no psychologist. I'm not going to a couch.
I'm not psychologist, Gligo. I'm just a person who likes to talk with other people to get them to talk about how they feel. That is it.
We're just having this conversation while these 2 fucking dudes are fighting each other in an alley.
Yeah, when you both say no psychologist, it's just like one of those moments where you both immediately stop fighting and just turn at the same time and just point. I mean, she's got a point. She is good with like mediation. I think that's what mediation.
That is Lemo.
And I will let go of Talisen. Just like throw my hands up in the air.
I'll let go of Nakano as well.
Look, I am not proud of what I did, and I'm sorry. But Asher did what he did. He made the choice that he made to protect us. And I would not have his actions be in vain by letting you bring harm to yourself. I don't ask for your forgiveness. I'm too far gone to be asking anyone for that. But I know your past. And so I apologize for bringing you back there.
Roy, we lost Asher. I should have stood in the way. I can be persuasive, but you 2 are better at this long game bullshit. Come on. Let's... You say you could track him, and I'll sort of turn my attention to Richie and Verité. And say, if we take you back to the place, it was and maybe an hour ago. If I take you back, you will be able to find him with your scent, with your senses.
There are more ways than just with scents to track a man. But yes, I think this should be fine.
All right, let's get going. Hopefully, we can find him. If the conductor truly did call Esther off him, then maybe he does still live. Come on.
Nakano and Talisen, you are able to head back into the direction of where you were before. I'll say anyone who's proficient with awareness, please make a wits awareness check. And for Talisen, you can add your +2 dice.
Oh, dang. Okay. Yeah, that'll do it. 5 successes.
That'll be 7 successes for me.
At which point, the group is heading to the corner of where you last saw Asher, to that essentially slight doorway that leads up into the next few floors leading up to the office of Bouchard. as Nakano and Talisen, you clock on the two rooftops either side of the street. Two slight forms, mostly hidden. Maybe these buildings that are coming around the corner are slightly shorter than the rest of them. They're maybe about 5 or 6 stories high. As you can see that there seem to be two figures looking down into the street.
I'll sort of look towards Verité and Richie and sort of, tilt my head upwards to sort of indicate that, like, look up there. And I'll say, they're not one of yours, are they? For those that aren't quite as, well, do they smell like one of us?
Hard to tell from this distance, at least for me.
Let me see if I can get a closer look. And I would like to use my Feral Whispers ability. I will have to roll a rouse, so give me 1 sec. And I succeed. I get to summon an animal and communicate with it. So I would like to summon forth a bat from the night.
Dipping out of the sky, seemingly from nowhere, you see a black, leathery bat land on the ground, looking up towards you, Nakano, these big, beady eyes staring forth at you.
I'm gonna crouch down in front of it, and I'm gonna say, which roughly translates to, do you see those two figures up there? Fly up there, and tell me what you see about them.
As you see, the bat just kind of looks up, looks to you, and just as clear as day English just says, "That's so fucking racist, buddy. Why do you assume that I gotta respond to a whole bunch of fucking squeaks and beeps? You know, my mama worked really hard to get all the way around here from, all the way down south, traveling up, going up this way and that way. And I get treated like this, like..."
I'm gonna stand up and I'm gonna stomp a foot in front of it.
Please make a manipulation intimidation check.
1 success.
You stomp your foot down as the bat just looks at it and looks up towards you. "Bitch, you think I'm afraid of death?"
Can we understand him as well?
I'm talking English, right?
He is speaking English. "So what, you want me to go up and investigate those two?"
Yes, I would like you to do that.
"What do I get out of it?"
I don't know. What would you like?
Can I tell if this is a fruit bat or a vampire bat?
This is a red bat. Mostly consumes bugs.
Would Nakano be aware of this? He just summoned it. I don't know if he, if he intuits what kind of bat it is.
Make an intelligence animal kin check.
Good God. Shockingly, 4 successes.
4 successes. Yes, he is aware. Bugs.
Oh my fuck God. Do you want the bugs?
What kind of bugs are we talking about? Because after the shit you just pulled, I want the good shit. I want a beetle the size of my face.
If you do this, when this is over, I will take you to the fucking insectarium.
Sounds like a big word, but it has insect in it. Alright.
When this is over.
And takes to the sky.
I love how I get here for 1 episode, and already the vibe is off the rails.
Look, we've had some intense sessions. I wanted this just for a little bit of moment. So the bat takes to the sky as it kind of swings around and comes back to you, Nakano, as it arrives. "Okay, 2 of them look kind of like you." Kind of points to Nakano.
Anything else?
I don't know, they were wearing clothes. So weird.
Pardon me? Did you see if they had any of the, the big things that they hold in their hands that make the pew-pew?
A quick roll for a bat. Yeah, I think they did. They were kind of glinting in like the moonlight.
Thank you very much, my friend.
See, this one knows how to treat me with respect.
As another child of Gaia, I understand. It's okay.
Gaia bros. Just kind of offers a tiny
Gaia
little
bros.
bat fist.
I pound the bat.
You fist the bats.
No! No!
All right, when are we going to the insectarium or torium?
When this is done.
Yeah, it's done now.
When this, on a macro level, is done.
So the entire episode is just going to the insectarium.
You guys take a half an hour drive.
We just find Asher there.
Yeah, we go to the insectarium, break in.
He's just chilling there.
Let this bat just go to town.
Where can I find you?
Just call me again. It's fine. No damn appreciation before begins to fly away.
Well, that went well.
Oh my god. That was amazing.
All the animals in the city are like this.
Are these the ones that you guys have pissed off? Or, others?
I'm pretty sure they see us for who we are. Should we just, engage them, or?
How much would you prefer them gone?
At least half the vampires in the city are probably want us dead at the moment, so it is fair that see.
I was just gonna suggest we can slip around them.
Nakano, these are your clan. When we take over Ambrosia, you are the next most senior amongst the Nosferatu. They will be under your command. So I leave this decision to you. Do you want to kill them? Should we go up and have a conversation with them, so as to find out where Asher is? Or...
Well, if they're lookouts, they might not have all that much information. They might just be here for an ambush.
They might have orders to take us out, yes.
Oh, I mean, well, there's that too, I suppose. Forgive me, I'm feeling a wee bit vengeful at the moment.
I would prefer to avoid as much bloodshed as possible.
Right. Well, do we want to talk to them, question them, find out, see if we can find out where Asher is, or simply avoid them altogether? Can you smell any trace of Asher?
When it comes to kindred, we can smell you from like a mile away. And in the same way, I assume you can smell us, and we probably smell like, I don't know, wet dog.
Not to perpetuate the stereotype of like sniffing hound dogs or anything, but you know.
Of course not.
Alright. At which point, Richie is going to make a check for Verity.
Is there a way that I can use my ancestors to help me with this?
Ooh, interesting.
Can I see Asher through the ether or some shit?
Ather through the Sure.
Interesting. We could get funky with this. I'll say there's definitely a possibility that this could be very effective. The one danger that you do know for werewolves in the city stepping into the Umbra or the spirit realm is that Montreal was the local Karn. With the putting up of the cross, it desecrated the Karn. So there's a heightened chance that malevolent spirits could be around when you step through into the Umbra. Not to say that it won't work. It could illuminate a lot of interesting stuff. There's just a danger there, all to say.
I feel like Verity's dealt with that kind of thing before, so yeah, I'll give it a shot. Why not?
Sure. Okay. Let's make this a stamina gnosis check.
That is 8 successes.
Oh, shit. So which case, Talisen and Nakano, you look towards Verity as she kind of closes her eyes, dips her head, steps to the right, and entirely vanishes from your vision. as it almost looks like there was a small tear just from nothing as she just steps through and vanishes.
Richard.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's a thing. I can do that too. Well, not as well as her. Think of it... It's a bit hard to explain. Think of it as like a communal unconscious, but also a united spirit world that exists beyond death. So it's both memory and the undead and eternal dead and places in between. There's ghost cities and shit.
So it's like heaven and hell mixed with the unconscious and ghosts.
I mean, I haven't encountered heaven or hell, but I mean, it's possible. I haven't been through all the spirit realm.
I need to sit down and have a really big think about this.
For Verity, you step into the Umbra as the world is returned to this very... Actually, that's a good point. As all of the buildings in the region cease existence. As Montreal, the city, returns back to the time before its industrialization. As it just turns to open plains, forests, trees. As you can see, a brilliant, almost night sky, but everything has this almost purplish gray tinge to it as you step through. As you can see numerous other of these grayish white wolves kind of sitting nearby at a campfire. As you can see your relatives kind of looking to each other and then look over. Ah, Verité!
Bonjour. Salut tout le monde. I give like a low keen in wolf and approach.
You can see your like grandfather and great-grandfather and great-great-grandfather and so on and so forth kind of all come together and like give you a little bit of a nuzzle. It is so good to have you here. Tell us, what has your adventures been like?
Well, things have been alright lately. We've gotten a lot of good headway with Fianna, but I am not here for this today. I'm dealing with, Grandpa Marcel, do not take this the wrong way, but we are dealing with the vamps currently.
You see everyone just like immediately cocks their head just
Currently!
Mal, what are you doing with corpse walkers?
The corpse, they are helping us, so we are helping them. Pour un petit peu.
They will stab you in the back. They are their worm. They are nothing but cursed people.
I'm not pleased about it either, but listen, sometimes the ends justify the means. Écoute.
I hate it when you say
Écoute. On peut tous apprendre un peu là-dessus. We can all learn from this. This is a gathering experience for all of us. You told me yourself that it is us gathering together and the experiences that we make that make the future.
You see your great granddad just kind of like shake his head and just, before you see your grandma Eugette kind of standing around, kind of like a stout woman with like a big like frizzy set of white hair. She kind of comes out. I'm just going to say, I saw the two of them before. The tall one is kind of cute. I'm just saying.
Which one is the tall one?
Well, I was more thinking of there's a tall, dashing one that I saw, and he seemed to be giving the cut, but there was also a like tall, like man of mystery. It is all I'm going to say.
T'arrêtes jamais, hein, maman?
I'm not saying that there's anything. This would be the opposite. I'm just saying.
No. Hey,
am I not allowed to speak?
T'es bien correct.
Am I not allowed to see about what I say? All I'm saying is if I was a younger woman.
Grand-maman! Ben là, écoute, okay. I'm here for... I just wanted to pop by, obviously say hi to you and give some kisses. But also, to see if you could help me. We are looking for one of their companions. Goes by the name Asher. They have been lost recently. Fled from other corporal curs.
You see your great-grandpappy just kind of pokes a head up. Very, very curious. Yes. I do hear... Well, I smell one. Kind of points down towards near the water. That direction, I think. Based on what I can tell? Ooh. Just kind of motions forward. Oh, I think I do know where he is. Make sure to not pass to the Umbra when you're there. There's a lot of whites. Ghosts.
And if I need you?
Everyone kind of looks together. We'll do what we can, of course. We'll try to wipe out as many as we can.
Of course, you are always with me anyway. So by the water, they just in the general direction of like the old port kind of thing was what they were referring to?
Your grandpappy did give you a... your great-grandpappy did point the direction. So that way when you step out of the Umbra, you should be able to head it dead on.
Fantastic. All right.
Also, with your connection to the spirit realm, you should be able to sense it the moment that you get there with the presence of the ghosts.
Amazing. Sweet. All right. Merci beaucoup, mes amours. Give us some nuzzles. Quel moment? Je vais te dire si 1-2 t'es un peu intéressé. Okay? I'll let you know.
Merci beaucoup, mi amor.
All right. And I shoop back into existence.
You step right back through. That tear opens up again as Verity just steps through.
Talisen, is this what it's like when I do the unvanishing thing?
No, that is way cooler. I'm sorry, Nakano. Like you have talent, but this is something else entirely.
Mes amis, I have a lead.
I'll sort of be leaning back, but slowly extend my arm and like poke Verity a couple of times on the shoulder, just like...
I'd be very careful about doing that.
Did I not say that words would suffice, mon ami?
Nakano's gonna be like waving his hand like in the space where she just stepped out of, as though he expects there to be something physical there.
Terribly sorry, mademoiselle. I'm trying to find a better way to say this, but what the hell was that?
You corpse walkers would not understand our guru connection to our past, to the Gaia herself, allows for such things.
You are correct. We do not understand. Most of us try our best not to connect with our past.
I could tell from before. And I look at Talisen.
Don't take this the wrong way, but did you go to heaven? The afterlife? Where did you go? What happened?
Which point you can see Richie kind of taps you on the shoulder and is like, perhaps we can have this discourse later, if Verity is willing to talk about that. Because, well, let's be honest with you, my dear Talisen, we're cool, but you got to understand that vampires have been trying to wipe out this entire culture for a long time.
Of course, I am terribly sorry. And I'll bow once again. Verity, I'm terribly sorry if I offended you at all. Forgive my curiosity. It's I've not seen something like this before, so
Curiosity is only normal. It is okay. I do love to share, and to share a good story. So perhaps when we are not on the hunt, we can share.
I would have no problem with that at all. So, please, what did you discover?
I relate to them Asher's location. At first I kind of like point, like a pointer, but then I forget myself. The spirits have told me that we have to go near the water. I will let you know when we are there. Follow me.
Okay. Firstly, thank you very much. Secondly, let us see if we can find a way to do this without being in the view of the watchers, as it were.
Well, I think based on what you're saying, Verity, we should be far enough away to kind of keep our position hidden for the most part.
Very well. I would just like to not lead them there. Is all I am saying.
Agreed.
All right. Well, we can definitely go stealth.
At least until we're out of eyeshot, certainly.
All right. Well, in which case, everyone please make a stealth check.
Is that just straight stealth, or is that dex stealth?
Dex stealth.
3 successes.
3 successes.
Wow. 3 successes.
You guys keep together as following Verity's directions. You guys arrive back in Old Port. Return to the old cobblestone streets. As you're kind of traveling across, you pass by old-looking stone architecture, the beautiful lights, and even spot in the distance the mayor's apartment / house that you guys snuck your way in.
As we're passing here, and especially because we've just passed by the mayor's house, can I just have Nakano drop by the car to pick up the rest of his weapons?
Sure. Yeah, no, everything would still be in there. No one's gonna fuck with an army jeep to try to break in.
Yeah, can we just get the army jeep and drive off?
You can.
Because nothing says stealth more than a jeep.
I am fine with driving it, but I mean, we are out of eyeshot. We are out of eyeshot of them, I'm presuming. But it depends on how stealthy we want to be.
Well, if we need to get moving quickly. I said get moving quickly, not quietly.
Alright, everyone get in the car.
Do you mind if I jump in the front seat, Nakano?
Fine.
Verity hops into this jeep, grumbling about fossil fuels and capitalism.
This is a honking thing too. Like this thing does not have good gas mileage. This is definitely not an electric car.
Gas mileage à mal. Tabarnak de Baron, de l'huile, Chris.
So as you guys drive down the road from where you guys were initially parked, you find yourself, with Verity's help, you guys arrive in front of Chapelle Notre-Dame de Bon Secours. You can see the beautiful chapel set in front of you. Small golden figurine kind of shining in the moonlight. It's getting pretty early. It's getting around like 3-4 a.m. at this point.
Tyson, with my, awareness of the spiritual terrain, can you let me know right before we're about to cross that threshold into the territory where the spirits were really unruly, as my ancestors had said?
Yes. Make a wits gnosis check.
Okay, that is 4 successes.
4 successes, okay. As you arrive near the front of the building, you can immediately, sense the influence. There's no spirits that are going to be here, but you can sense kind of the tainted nature, the influence of the worm that maybe isn't being created here, but has flocked to this point.
My hackles are definitely raised. But before I leave the car, I'd want to turn to Talisen and Nakano and say, okay, before we go in, say, if you would allow me, I believe there's something that we can do to make sure that perhaps if we are in distress or we need to communicate without really communicating, we can do that. How would you feel about this?
Alright.
No, I totally understand. Communication is key and all that, yes.
And I'd like to connect us all with Mindspeak.
Okay. Please, so you'll be spending 1 point of willpower. And now please roll Charisma plus Leadership.
4 successes.
4 successes. Okay. So you are able to connect everyone together as you speak a few words that Talisen and Nakano are not able to understand, as there's this moment of tethering into the center of the space, as suddenly all of you are beginning to hear, like, as opposed to speech, you guys go to talk, as the speech that you're about to say through your words is communicated through your mind and travels out down all these tethers, hitting each other.
This causes Nakano to panic so greatly that he veers onto the sidewalk slightly and, like, knocks, like, the side mirror off with, like, a lamppost before he regains control.
Whoa! It's okay. I kind of go into our mind. Listen, it's just us here. It's okay. We're in each other's heads. We can still talk normally, but, like, you know, if we need to be, like, on the down low, comedies, we can do it like this.
And I'll sort of say something. I'm sort of trying to get a hang of speaking in the group mind speak. I sort of, okay, this interesting. Also, is it just verbal, or, you know, like, we can talk to each other, or can we, like, see into things of the other's mind?
Just speaking.
Okay, good.
Yes, I would not want to have that kind of intrusiveness into any of your minds, or nor you into mine.
Fair enough. Well, I would say this is incredibly useful, mademoiselle. Thank you.
Dans ce cas-là, mets-le en parc, Nakano, puis on s'en va.
What did you say?
Sorry, put it in park, Nakano, and let's hop out.
Thank you. My apologies. It is a third language for me.
Understood.
Which point, Nakano, you pull it into park at a nearby alleyway as you kind of shift it into park. As you guys are unbuckling yourselves and beginning to head out, Nakano, next to your window, you hear ding, 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 ding.
I've got one hand on the hilt of one of my swords as I slowly turn my head.
You turn your head, and you can see entirely dark clothing, what looks to be like a full ski mask over the front of the face, a form just staring into the window. You can see what looks to be some sort of pistol in hand, before you just see they just looking, and pulls up the mask, and you see Ryan.
Oh, Ryan!
Hey guys.
I roll down the window.
Salut.
Hi, good to see. And you got 2 friends. Nice to meet you guys. It's
Yeah, do you make a habit of turning up to people's cars in ski masks? That's not very friendly.
Ryan, why are you dressed like that?
Me and Keeper Nayla, we're here to break Asher out.
What is the situation?
Well, I don't know for certain. Keeper Nayla, she was using, like, her, like, you know the thing that Asher does sometimes, and he, like, gets, like, really, like, woof, like his eyes roll back and that sort of thing.
He goes, yeah, like he tries to, like, look into the future and stuff.
Yeah, so Keeper Nayla had one of those, and apparently there was, like, some stuff going on, and she kind of used, like, a whole bunch of rituals to figure out her way. It was kind of weird. Like, I'm used to Keeper Nayla kind of, like, being, like, more bookish, I guess. But then I just saw her, like, pull out a golden dagger. And I shit you not, we were coming here, and I saw literally one person start bleeding out of their eyes, nose, and mouth, and just begin to convulse on the ground. It was the wildest shit. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself.
Have you been taking acid by any chance?
Not today. On a good day, that sounds like a great time. But right now, not exactly. I'm just high on adrenaline, man. Like, this is, like, my first time, like, really doing this.
Oh, Ryan, get into the car. Get into the car.
Okay, we're getting in the car.
Aren't we getting out of the car?
I don't know. Are we going in or are we going out?
All right, stop. Are we here, Verité?
Yes.
Great, let's get the hell out of the car. All right, where the hell is Kipanela?
She's inside, I think.
Okay, get out of the car, Ryan. Get out of the car.
Ryan's like halfway through the door, through the windshield.
Richie is coming out the other side, just like, what the?
This puddle of bodies. Just go. Just get, all right. So, you're not going to make a distraction. Which building?
Just kind of points towards the chapel, and at which point you look in that direction as you see that there are three figures standing out in front, staring at all of you. The commotion in the alley and smacking the light post. You just see three figures just cock-headed, looking at you like just incredulous.
Fuck.
Well, what is the distraction?
As Ryan just kind of like standing there, all of you like trying to get out of the car. Ryan just kind of looks towards them all and just goes,
inconspicuous.
Cry. As he's going to use dementation. At which point you watch as one of them immediately begins to look towards the group of you and immediately begins to cower on the ground. Like, which point Ryan just kind of looks to the group of you. Something.
I'm going to duck out of the car and then just blink straight towards the group of them. While, of course, whipping the sword out of my guitar on the back of my back, and then reaching down and pulling the masks down. So now I've got black jacket, hood, and then Guy Fawkes mask down over my face.
Richie is going to attempt to transform into his Krynos form. That's going to be stamina plus rage. As from out the side, Richie goes into his full massive three-legged wolf, massive claws in one hand. And then for Verité and Nakano, what are you two doing?
Okay, I'm gonna use Vanish from Mind's Eye, which just causes me to, even if someone is looking directly at me and paying attention, I just vanish from like their mind. I let me pull up like the actual description, but it's like I can turn invisible no matter who's looking at me.
Well, hell, okay.
So I found it. Basically, Vanish from Mind's Eye. It just allows me to use Cloak of Shadows or Unseen Passage, even under direct observation. So I'm gonna use it to use Unseen Passage.
Okay, roll for your rouse check.
Oh, I was so close to a crit success, but that is a failure. However, I turn invisible, machete in one hand, wakizashi in the other. I am just charging at these guys.
Well, Verity's gonna take the hint. Yeah, she'll go Cronus as well.
Okay, so please roll stamina plus rage. You're aiming for 2 successes.
Oh yeah, those are all all successes. So yeah, that's more than 2.
How many is it?
Okay, so it's 9 successes.
9 successes. Well, that's very interesting because you enter Rage Frenzy.
Oh god, no. Right.
Because whenever you make a rage roll and you succeed by more than 4, you enter a frenzy as you let out this baffling roar as all like the 2 remaining figures just immediately begin to cower slightly as your bloodlust knows no bounds and sense of death. Essentially the loss of knowing who is who. Just simply blobs of movement in front of you, all of which need to be butchered. And as you are standing there, this massive hulking beast, we're going to see what Asher's up to. Time passes. Again, that motionlessness, that blurring, it takes hold again as everything kind of numbs out. At which point there's something strange suddenly. There's a dash of movement in the corner. you can hear a gurgling sound, almost like a drowning.
Am I still staked?
Mm-hmm.
What can I smell?
You smell Vitae, as there's a very quiet motion before you feel the release come back over your body as the stake is removed, as you see a hooded figure in front of you, a golden inlaid knife in her hand.
Keeper.
Always getting yourself into more and more trouble, isn't it?
I failed.
Not yet, boy. Not yet. Which point you feel the rest of your chains as they fall to the ground.
Is Clarky's body still there?
No. She begins to pull you up on your feet as you see from the main doorway. You can see another figure come down, one of the gangrel this time, as they turn like, what the fuck? As immediately Nayla turns to them, takes the dagger, pushes it into her palm, and twists it. As you watch as the figure, as all of the muscles begin to tense in their body.
I rush them.
You rush up towards them as you watch as Vitae is bleeding through their eye sockets, down their nose, through their teeth, and through their mouth.
I bite into them and drink.
Okay.
I do not have the heart.
Oh, okay. So, in which case, how much do you want to drink?
Until they are dead.
In which case, take your hunger down to 0. For those who are listening at home, technically there is a little bit more that goes into diablerie than this, but this is just metal. So, plus also I just kind of like these rules better.
I figured that with Nayla's help, he wasn't going to be able to resist all that much.
No, not at all. In which case, I need you to roll for humanity plus blood potency.
8 successes. And the only thing going through Asher's mind right now is an old conversation he had with Sebastian when he first shared his mission and goals with Sebastian. And Sebastian asked him, if you do this, how are you going to protect these people that you bring into this circle? And Asher promised him, I will grow powerful enough to protect those that trust me.
Okay. At which point, Asher, you lose 1 humanity. You gain 35 experience that you can choose. You can immediately use to increase your blood potency, or you can choose to put it into disciplines that were known by the victim. At which point, as you drain this gangrel, you look over to Nayla, who's just holding the blade in this black ichor. Well, then I think we should move. Ryan is able to distract only so much. He's a very nervous man, as you well know. It's also time to get back to your friends.
Ryan may need a therapist, but I promise you it's not this one.
I think you do enough. That is where we're going to leave it off for tonight's episode.
Oh, shit! Oh, man, it was very fun having you with us, Alex.
Yes, Alex, thank you so much for joining us.
My absolute pleasure. I thought I would throw you guys for a loop and be the Jacob to your Edwards, you know.
In which case, as we wrap up, do people want to plug anything?
I'll just go with guys, gals, non-binary pals. Please get your vaccines. Want to knock this COVID beast down as quickly as possible. Yeah, everyone get your jab so that we don't need to go back into any more lockdowns. Also, I heard this other podcast that's out there.
Yeah, Alex, usually I'm the one who plugs October and Fish, but did you want to take a swing at it?
Yeah, I'll do it. Yeah, okay. So obviously, shout-outs. I want to shout out October Jones and Fish with Legs. That's the podcast that myself, Takeshi, Tyson, have all been a part of. Perhaps Brenten and Ethan in the future. Who knows? After this conglomerate, after our merger comes together. No promises. No promises. It's a wonderful story about a teenage girl and a fish with legs that are saving the world, one wacky hijinks at a time, set in a fantasy but relatable world. It's super awesome. I did the music for it. Takeshi is one of the best voice actors, and Tyson as well, that I've ever had the pleasure to work with. It's a pleasure to do. All of the episodes are out now on Spotify and anywhere else that you can find podcasts. So go ahead and give them a listen. While I am shouting things out, I would be remiss not to shout out another podcast that I have done, which is done by another friend of ours called Aim for the Bushes. This is a podcast by our friend Pavlo Tull. He talks about basically anything that he kind of wants to. It's one of these, talk about your interests or about a topic kind of podcast. But it's quite insightful and quite funny. Myself, I've been on it a few times as a guest, and Dexter, who is another one of our friends who does October and Fish, has been on it. It's quite funny and quite good. The last one we did was on Space Jam, I believe, and now the new one's come out, so maybe we'll do a follow-up episode. So once again, it's called Aim for the Bushes. You can find it anywhere that you get your podcasts. And hey, follow me on socials. I'm at Cruzstatious, that's CRUZTACIOUS, on Twitter and Instagram. If you're looking for anybody to do music stuff for any kind of project, hit me up.
Slowly went from a shout out to a LinkedIn profile.
Oh my god, I have all this freedom now. I can plug anything I want. Take care of yourselves out there. Be good to one another. I don't know. It's a small planet, and not enough time in the day to hate each other. That's all I got.
All right. Well, thank you so much for listening. For all of your board game needs, check out threekingsloot.com. For all of your board game news, check out thebagofloot.com. And for more episodes of this, make sure to check us out on YouTube at threekingsloot.com, or check us up as the Rook and the Rascal on Spotify, on Google Podcasts, and wherever you get your good podcasts from. That's it for today. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll catch you next time. See ya.